Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. If I look tired and weird, it's because I am tired and weird. I just got back from school and did my 1-hour presentation, so yeah. So today I figured I would talk about my suicide whole thing. It just feels like the right time to do it, especially with yesterday's video. I know it's 2 intense videos in a row, sorry about that. At one point in my life, the first time I considered suicide seriously, I was a senior in high school, and this might not sound very dramatic to any of you, but pretty much I spent, I think, 1.5 hours standing in front of my mirror, and it was like on a table, and in front of me I also had sleeping pills. And I stood there considering just taking everything that was in the container. And obviously I didn't, but that was a deeply traumatic moment for me because I really was trying to make myself do it, even if, you know, I was obviously scared, but I did feel like I wanted to die. Second instance, not that many people know about, and I'll explain why. So at one point in my life, I had a drug problem, and I can get into that in another video if you want to hear about it. But I had a drug problem, so I left China during my gap year, and I went to live with my aunt in Italy. And when I went to live with my aunt, everything was, you know, fine. I obviously stopped doing drugs. Yeah. And I had to get my wisdom teeth taken out. Fun thing about that is that in Italy, you have to take a test in order to be allowed to have anesthesia, that like the anesthesia that makes you sleep. So the only thing I got was like cream on my gums, so I essentially felt all of it. I heard the cracking, my teeth weren't coming out, so my dentist was literally breaking them off in pieces. Ugh. Anyways, after that, I had to take antibiotic and painkillers. Now, the painkiller that he gave me was some form of Novocaine, but it was in drops. So I have an issue with drops because I always feel like it's super hard to know what even 1 drop is. You have to be super light-handed, whatever. I just have an issue with that. And so what I did is that I tried to kill myself slowly. And that sounds confusing. I'll explain. So I was supposed to take a certain amount of antibiotics per day. I think it was 1 or 2 pills a day. And then a certain amount of Novocaine. And it hurt so bad that I would wake up in the middle of the night and would need to take those drops. For the first few days I was normal about it, and my mom was also there. So she was kind of administering it to me. But after my mom left and my aunt left me to take care of it, which I don't blame her for, obviously, because they didn't know that I was mentally not well. But between having passed the drug addiction, I was kind of still in a very unhealthy mental place. I actually started binging and purging at this point too. So anyways, I ended up one day taking a lot. And I didn't take a lot at once. That's what I mean when I was killing myself slowly, is that instead of taking 1 antibiotic pill, I would take 7 in that day. And I know that antibiotics don't necessarily have that effect that I know of, but I just wanted to hurt myself. And then I took way, way, way more drops of Novocaine, but I did it slowly, so it's not like it would hit me all at once. So what happened then is that I was sitting at dinner with my aunt and her friend, and she has like an island, so we were all sitting on bar stools, so higher. And I passed out. I fell off the bar stool, and next to the bar stool there was like a low table, and my head hit the corner of the low table and broke the corner off, and I passed out. So the next thing I know is that my aunt and the friend go to the neighbors, and the neighbor was like a nurse or something, and they try waking me up and they start asking me questions, and I'm answering absolute nonsense. So they call 911. The thing is, my aunt's elevator is very small, so there was no way they could get a gurney in it, and she was on the 3rd floor. So they put me on a chair and dragged the chair into the elevator, got downstairs, and then put me on the gurney, sent me to the ER. By the time we got to the ER, I was more awake. I was understanding what was happening. So they didn't know that I took any of this stuff. They still don't know. No one knows, apart from my close friends and Jacob, no one knows. And so since I woke up, they didn't think to do a kind of like screening of how much, like if I had any drugs in me, right? And our friend, who has been my doctor for years, works at the hospital. So he came, checked on me, and you know, he says she seems fine, she might have just grown faint. So I didn't say anything still. So they let me go home. I go home. For the next 2 days, I end up sleeping for like 18 hours. I think I was still processing everything. I was still low-key thinking I was gonna die, but it was gonna take longer maybe, because, you know, who knows how the body works. Not me, that's for sure. But yeah, that was my second attempt. And I know that it's a very weird story, but I still think about it a lot, and my family still doesn't know. Hopefully they don't see this video, and if they do, we're gonna have a really awkward conversation. Things went back to normal after. I was still depressed, but I didn't try again because that was really traumatic to me. They took me in to get my head checked because I had slammed it on the table and broken off the corner, but that was really how that all ended, and those are my main 2 suicide stories. I don't really know how to end this video, but thank you guys for watching. I'm sorry, I've been kind of a buzzkill these past few days, but we will get back to fun content, I promise. And yeah, as usual, if you want to see something in particular from me, let me know, and thank you guys for watching.